Team Nerd Herd. What is your category? Video games. All right. In the game Overwatch. We're never going to get through this if I just announce certain parts of the question and I keep getting applause. I mean, I appreciate it. Welcome to the UGO podcast, Con Edition. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And who's so excited? Why, it's me, Nick the Merc with a mic, your resident unapologist, and I'm here with my fellow unapologist,
Justin John Zarian.
Justin, what the hell? Oh my god, Travis is not here.
Oh wait, I thought I was. I'm sorry. No, hi guys, I'm Travis. How are you doing today? Woo.
Justin, are you wearing? Did you kill Travis and are using his skin as a human suit again?
I can neither confirm or deny this happening, especially because we're on microphones, so.
No, Travis had to take yet another trip out of town right after we got back from our trip, so I thought I'd bring on Justin here to help out, talk about our con episode and lead in with the news and stuff. But yes, this is going to be our Anime Austin episode where I was in Austin just recently, and my god, that was so much fun. Had got a lot of fun recordings with all the podcast networks down there. It was really cool. You got a great podcast scene down there, and if you're listening, your anime convention was super cool, and I had so much fun. Thank you so much to everyone that reviewed with us, or that interviewed with us. Oh my god, I'm so tired. It was absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad you took time out of your busy schedule to record with us, especially Eric Cherry, the voice actor that you will hear on here. I had a lot of fun at his 18 plus panel. It was absolutely great. Yeah, I had a great time. Got to meet a lot of great artists, cosplayers. Worked with a little bit of video for the second time, and man, that is super hard. But yeah, we will go into that coverage and all that good stuff after our news segment right up in the front here. But with that, should we just jump into the news, the geeky news of this week, Justin?
Yes, indeed. And there was quite a few, maybe not earth-shattering stories, but ones you're just like, oh, there's going to be some good meat to talk about this one. Mm-hmm.
So not very many big things, but kind of some stuff to chew on, definitely. What should we hop into first? What do you think, my friend?
Well, should we talk about the very big one, the one that involved firing and rehirings and hirings and that stuff?
Yeah, why don't we jump right into that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, we have Disney working on their new Han Solo film. And for those of you who know, Disney is very, very tight with their properties. They don't really like, they keep a tight grip with, the Marvel films.
You don't rock the mouse boat.
Yeah, you do not fuck with Mickey. He does not play. And yeah, so through the rumor right now is creative differences. There's a bunch of different rumors going on right now, like the film was too funny was one of the rumors going on right now, which I thought was a weird complaint.
I think I heard that it wasn't so much it was too funny, but it didn't fit the tone that they were expecting for a Star Wars film.
Yes, I think that was the main issue. So yeah, the Phil Lord and Chris Miller are no longer directing. And now the new guy's in, Ron Howard, and he's going to be directing instead. And he's directed before, I believe, he directed Apollo 13. So
he's directed a lot. I think people don't realize that he has been around for quite a while. First of all, he was Opie from the Andy Griffith Show, way back when.
Holy shit, yeah. Man, that is really far back. Yeah.
And he was the lead actor on Happy Days, or one of them at least.
Mm-hmm.
But, in his directorial career, he did Apollo 13. He won an Oscar for A Beautiful Mind. He's directed some really great dramas like Frost Nixon and Rush, a very underseen film. And he's also done things like How the Grinch Stole Christmas and the Da Vinci Code movies.
Yeah, so call it hit and miss. I think Beautiful Mind might be one of the greater films that I've actually seen, especially in a film class. in regarding visual storytelling and stuff. So the guy's got chops, but you're right. There are some black marks on his record.
Yeah, it feels like it has to be if he's really inspired or into the project or not, it feels like.
So this is not the first time Disney's got into it with directors over creative differences. Edgar Wright got the boot from Ant-Man because there was a lot of rumors going around with that one too, on what he wanted for the Ant-Man film. I have mixed feelings on this, because on one level, I want directors to have creative freedom in making their own project, but on the other hand, Disney has a right to protect their property, especially as something as big as Star Wars, which I know they want on brand in a very big way. They are worried about that marketing, selling those toys and all that shit. So I can kind of see it from both ends. The Star Wars films, I don't know. Marvel has Kevin Feige, pushing back against the studio to, give it a more balanced push. So I feel like the Star Wars films are probably a little more studio executive led than maybe the Marvel films are. I don't know. What do you feel about it, Justin?
Yeah. So the big thing is that, from what it sounds like, Kathleen Kennedy is kind of the de facto boss of Star Wars when it comes to this stuff. Like, all big creative decisions come through her. And from what I'm gathering on these stories is that she and Lord and Miller just never got along with each other. Like, they had very clear, distinctive visions on what they wanted to do, where Lord and Miller wanted a more funny, Lord and Miller style movie, and Kathleen Kennedy wanted something fun, but not too divergent from her vision of Star Wars. And even on set, there was always the arguments just like, oh yeah, she disagreed with the way they conducted things, the way they did their set organization, the way they did things just on a personal level. And I guess it just came to a head in this last, I think they were only 2 weeks away from finishing filming on this. And then it's just like, yep, you guys are gone. We're going to get someone else that we trust and depend upon, Ron Howard, of all people, to do this. And I see the perspective too, you're saying that you're two minds, and I agree too, where it's like, on the one hand, it would have been nice to see what Lord and Miller's film would be like, but on the other hand, if they're not following direction, if they're not coordinating with the studio heads, you can't just thumb your nose at the people with the money, because they have the money. They control, what's going on in your film. I don't know. Is there really much else to say other than that?
No, I feel like any speculation at this point would be preemptive. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know the story. I don't know who's to blame, if there's anyone to be at fault for. Sometimes people just don't work out on a project, and it's not really anyone's fault. So
yeah, and you can't predict that always. I think they just assumed these guys made the Lego Movie, they made the Jump Street films, they have a good reputation for making successful hit movies, and they just didn't know that maybe what they were looking for in these directors wasn't what they actually got at the end. So
I think the main thing right now I feel is just disappointed that I feel like those guys really know what they're doing when it comes to comedic timing and writing. And I feel like Han Solo would have been a really fun character for them to write, because he is we remember him as this badass, but if you watch the original trilogy, he has a lot of really goofy kind of moments that are in between his badass moments where he's silly, he's funny, he's sometimes kind of a coward and kind of runs off. The big scene I remember is when he faces off with the stormtroopers and chases after 3 of them, only to run into more of them down the end of the hallway and kind of oh shit, and scuttle off like a cartoon character again. So I thought it would have been ripe territory for directors of their style. But we'll see what Ron Howard does. I feel like there was some work's already been done in the script writing phase, I think. So
they're only 2 weeks away from finishing filming. So I assume what it's just going to be is that they're going to reorganize. He had a meeting with them yesterday to see okay, this is what we got. This is where we're going to go with this.
I didn't realize they were that far into filming. Okay.
Oh no, that was the huge deal because compared to Zack Snyder, with that whole thing with him in Justice League, he already filmed all of his footage, and Joss Whedon's just going to assemble it all together.
Yeah.
In this case, they were in the middle of filming when they fired them, so it must have been a big deal to call it quits in the middle of production.
Yeah, that's quite a shakeup for that late into development. We'll probably get the whole story later, but yeah. That feels weird to me because editing together, like stitching together a film at the end, I feel like that's where a director can really make or break a film. So I feel like handing it off at the end there, I don't know if that's going to translate. But
well, I mean, to be fair, Lord and Miller didn't write the script. It was Lawrence Kasdan who wrote the script for Han Solo. So,
right. They were only directors.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, directors do have an obvious importance in this, but it feels like the template for what the movie is still there. It's not like they took their script and went home with them, kind of thing.
Right. Well, with that, should we move on to some other news?
Yes, indeed. What's next on this list, sir?
Well, I just wanted to bring up, were you a fan of Rocko's Modern Life at all?
Oh, of course. I loved Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Like, it was never my, like, absolute favorite Nicktoon, but compared to some of the other stuff on there, I felt like it's held out well enough over the years.
Yes, I quite enjoyed it as well. I'm a 90s kid, so I loved all those 90s Nicktoons and stuff. And apparently, because I like to call this segment Nothing Dies Anymore, and they will bring back anything, Rocko's Modern Life is returning for a movie, and they're getting most of the original cast back.
Indeed.
That's pretty cool. I mean, for every reboot, remake thing like Baywatch or whatever that I'm like, I don't understand why you brought that back. I do like that we get at least one of these every once in a while. But I gotta say, where's my Freakazoid? What the shit?
You know, I'm so glad someone else agrees with me. Freakazoid would perfectly work in this very meme-heavy generation. He's the embodiment of the internet.
He's a superhero that's an internet meme. Okay, I'm not gonna get into my Freakazoid pitch here, but how the fuck has that not been discovered by some Hollywood person yet? Like, that's ridiculous. There's gotta be a script around to make a Freakazoid. They brought the Tick back. The Tick is fucking coming back, and we don't get Freakazoid at all?
That Tick is very different, to be fair.
Right. Yeah, they did take a different take with that. But, yeah, I'm very excited to see that. It makes me excited because I want to see some other 90s cartoons. Like, I want to see All Real Monsters come back. And maybe get an anime.
Well, you know,
what's that?
We're getting the Hey Arnold movie as well.
Yeah, that was a big story from a couple weeks ago too. We had on the podcast, which I was excited about that. Big fan of that show. I think bring back All Real Monsters and maybe get a studio, heavy, maybe even CGI. Maybe even Pixar can do a All Real Monsters thing and make it about scaring kids. Oh wait a minute, they already did that.
You know what? I could say that I could see Mike and Sully teaming up with the All Real Monster guys. Maybe it's the new Monsters University where they're exchange teachers teaching that class instead.
I just like to feel like Crump and Eliza would be just like, you stole our shit! And there'd be a big fight. But yeah, call me very excited for that because I'm really into that. Hey, are you into playing Pokemon Go at all?
Nope, I love Pokemon, but I've never been a Pokemon Go guy.
Oh, okay, good, because apparently they're getting really hyperbolic on their fucking cheaters right now. Apparently they are marking them in-game for cheaters.
What, they're just gonna put a giant red C on their player tags or something like that?
Yeah, like a scarlet letter or something, I don't know. Pokemon adulterer.
Shame!
Shame! Ding ding! Shame! It's just... And then all the other Pokemon goers just have their phones out, throwing feces and Pokeballs at them, but it's all on the phone.
But you wouldn't feel them because they're all just through the screen itself. So
he'd feel them in his heart, Justin, in his heart.
Okay, so explain to me though, how are people cheating in this game? Because it doesn't seem like it's capable of cheating.
Some people are using third-party services to circumvent actually walking. They'll they'll put their phone on a treadmill or a spinning thing to kind of trick the GPS. They'll spoof programs in order to trick the GPS into thinking it's somewhere where it's not. They apparently are going to crack down a lot more on that. And yeah, I would care, except that I played Pokemon Go for a month and then never again.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather just play old school Pokemon. I mean, you actually play the game, and this is just, it's a casual game. It's a casual game for people who are not hardcore gamers.
Yeah. Well, I do like that there's a new, Pokemon game coming for the Switch. Hopefully one of my friends can buy a Switch and then I'll just borrow it, because I don't think I'm gonna, buy a system for just one game. But, I'm excited.
Well, you'll have a few years to wait for that one, anyways.
Switching it back to movies, you want to take it back to some people that are also fucking it up here?
Okay, who is specifically messing up this time?
Sony. They are, my god, you've probably heard about this doing the Breakfast Club notes, but they are going fucking crazy about this Spider-Man universe that doesn't have Spider-Man in it.
Oh boy. They are so desperate to try and make their own money off of this property, where it's like, okay, we had to concede and give Spider-Man over to MCU because people wanted it, but for anything else not directly Spider-Man, it's fair game.
And, okay, so now they're planning on a Mysterio and Kraven spin-off.
You know, I always said I wanted to see Mysterio in a film, but Mysterio couldn't hold his own movie.
I want to see him in a Spider-Man film. And I would like to see Kraven in a Spider-Man film.
Yeah, Kraven's most famous story involves Spider-Man directly.
Dude, I would love to see a fucking Kraven Spider-Man versus Spider-Man movie. I would like to see that. I don't want to see Crocodile Dundouche all by himself. I don't want that at all.
I don't want to watch the dude with the giant fishbowl do his own thing.
God damn it. And now it's going to join the Black Cat and Silver Sable movie and the Venom movie, which just said that its main villain is going to be fucking Carnage. I'm just like, whatever.
I like Carnage. I think he's an interesting idea. It's just it's really easy to misuse Carnage as a character because it's an idea, like a guy who is infected with the symbiote who is already a serial killer, and now he's a serial killer with superpowers. It's not a new story, but it's different for the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's just Venom and Carnage, there's some conflict there, but it's not nearly as intense with, compared to Spider-Man's sense of morality.
Yeah, Sony, just give up. You're not very good at this. You've had, so many tries with Spider-Man, and if you can't get regular Spider-Man to fucking work, I don't get how you're gonna make the whole, villains and team-ups and spin-offs work either. But, I don't know, I guess Tom Hardy might be kind of a neat choice for Venom. I don't know.
I mean, he's got the size, because that's one thing we always complained about in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, that Topher Grace was just too meek and not intimidating enough to be Venom.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting somebody as beefy as Tom Hardy, which I say that in a completely hetero way, beefy, but, someone who's as built as Tom Hardy.
I'd do him.
I think that would work more. Okay, well, there you go.
I'd do that short little motherfucker. He's
that short little limey British.
He's stocky. He's short, but he's stocky. I like it.
Yeah, he's... Okay, let's move on to something else before it gets too gay in here.
Yeah, I'd be Bane's front spoon. Anyway, I wonder what would break your spirit or your body. Man, he would have the worst pillow talk. But yeah.
You think coitus is your ally?
I was born in it! Okay, so... moving on to The Mummy. I don't know if you saw The Mummy yet, Justin. Have you seen The Mummy?
No interest whatsoever, but I think I know the story you're talking about, which makes me kind of amused.
Yeah, well, me and Travis saw it while we were in Austin. We didn't even bother doing a movie review for it, because it's just like, God, this movie's fucking boring. And just...
Well, it's exactly what it looks like in the trailer. It's a big, loud spectacle that's an excuse for them to keep the Mummy franchise alive.
Yeah. And... I have my own issues with how it fucking ends too, which I think is dumb. But apparently, it is on its way to lose about $100 million for the studio, even though it did okay over internationally. Because how much did they fucking spend on this movie?
I mean, probably the usual box office, where it's $200 million budget plus advertising and PR. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, to make a profit on any internationally released movie like that, you have to get twice that budget back. So, if you get $400 or $500 million worldwide.
Yeah, and I guess in 2 weeks, it in America or domestically it made $57 million, which is fucking just atrocious box office wise. That is a major fuck up. I guess everyone went to go see Wonder Woman 2 or 3 times instead.
Well, you see, who did you know who was excited to see that Mummy movie? I knew people who maybe oh, if it's good, maybe. But I didn't know anybody who has actually wanted to see a Mummy movie.
Well, I don't know anybody who wants to see the fucking Dark Universe monsters, like the Universal movie monsters, come back in a, like, crossover style. Like, I get universes are a thing that we're doing now, but it works better in a comic book universe where that sort of thing is very well established. Then, like, no one gives a shit about the Universal movie monsters anymore. Like, I heard they're gonna do Quasimodo and fucking the Phantom of the Opera now? What? But why? I don't know. Do you have any interest in this Dark Universe thing?
No, not really. I mean, I like all those Universal monsters, but there's no real need to see another League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Ugh.
You know, it's just... It's the franchise game. Everyone is... all that franchising is nowadays, like the Hollywood game, is just people going to see things that they recognize. But just because you recognize it doesn't mean that it's actually going to be good. So we may recognize Baywatch just because people know what Baywatch is, but who really wants to see a Baywatch movie? You know? We recognize what the Creature from the Black Lagoon is, but do you really want to see a Creature from the Black Lagoon movie?
I do. I mean, that's the one that I've been like, hey, that might have a cool update, like we can make a Lake Placid thing out of it.
Yeah, well, but it feels like it doesn't have a pulse on the culture. Like, right now, the big thing, you know, we go in cycles. We have zombies at one point, we have superheroes right now, and maybe they're trying to predict whatever the next big thing is, but I don't feel like monster movies are really that just yet.
Maybe after King Kong and Godzilla have a breakthrough with, like, giant monsters, maybe we can bring back some of the smaller monsters and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just too early for something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, then they need to put a little fucking effort in, like, because I remember Dracula Untold, if you ever watched that. Ooh. That piece of shit. But...
And then the early stuff with, like, Van Helsing.
Fuck, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Poor Hugh Jackman. It was...
he got an Academy Award nomination later on, so he's not complaining.
Man, he can shake... that shit he can shake off. Yeah, I only got one more story on my end, which is that apparently Warner Brothers is in talks saying that it's going to avoid auteur directors on future projects, which I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that.
Yeah, okay, that sounds very vague. Like, do they just mean for, like, franchise films, or for a particular type of movie, or what?
I don't know. I guess they are... I don't know. They're quoted as saying that they're going to avoid auteur directors. I think they're saying like, maybe we won't have Snyder involved in all of the Justice League universe, and you know, I think they're trying to avoid directors that have too much of their own style. That
where
yeah, because now most of the DC universe, they feel like they have to fit in the same world that Snyder has set up for Batman v Superman, you know, like...
Well, yeah, because they can't contradict what they've set up so far.
Yeah, and I think that they realized that, maybe we should have picked a more standard, you know, blockbuster film creator so that we had more wiggle room with how we can expand out these movies. Because for Wonder Woman, I thought the weakest part out of Wonder Woman's were anytime they had to try and connect it back to the Batman vs Superman world.
Which there weren't that many connections in Wonder Woman. I mean, there was like, a mention of Batman at the beginning and one at the very end.
Yeah, it's at the beginning and end, and that's where I feel like I was like, I'm not really down with this. But for the rest of but I just liked how that film looked, and it didn't look like a Snyder film, and
except for the fight scenes.
Well, I don't think they got the CGI quite down yet for their rubbery people, but. That final action scene did fucking happen in the middle of the night, and at least it wasn't fucking raining. But, God, I hate that fucking stupid, slow-mo, dark, we're fucking edgy feel. Whatever. But yeah, I think what they're trying to get at is that they're gonna try and be a little more open and a little more flexible with how their movies can go. I don't know. This is basically just talk from a studio that has had a really fucking horrible track record. That I think that they're so trying to see what works, and like if anything even hints like it's gonna work, I think that's what they'll do, and they'll. So I think they're taking a cue from Wonder Woman, where people are like, hey, this feels like a movie, like it has a 3-act structure. and a character arc and follows film rules. So maybe we should do that from now on. Which I think would be a good lesson to take, but who knows with those guys what lessons they'll take from that. And with that was pretty much all I had for this week in news, unless you had something you wanted to bring up. I know you're...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
Well, yeah, obviously a lot of my notes and my news you can find on the Breakfast Pub at oneofus.net, but, there's a few little tidbits of information. For all you Star Trek fans out there, Star Trek Discovery will premiere on September 24th, have you been following the production of that?
I've not been following the production of STD, but I am not that big into Star Trek, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I know there's a lot of big Trek fans out there, and to be fair, STD is spreading across the internet, apparently. But
that is an unfortunate fucking title.
It really is. But, and what they've mentioned, I looked at some news stories, the idea that the reason why it's taken forever for this show to come out is because if you see the trailers, they have some expensive-looking stuff on that set. Lots of CG, lots of costumes, lots of big set pieces, and that's pretty much why they said that, for the longest time, it was supposed to premiere in May, like this last month, I think. And they're just like, yeah, we kind of underestimated how expensive this show was going to be. So, I at least appreciate they said, yeah, we wanted to take our time and not rush this thing out, just crap it onto the screen.
Yeah, is it still going to only be available on their CW, or, no, they're not CW, CBS app. Is it only available on the app thing?
Yeah, so the first 2 episodes, which essentially is like one long movie, but split into 2 episodes, will be available on network. But then everything else will come onto their streaming. Which is weird, though, because the rest of the season in Europe and internationally will be put on Netflix, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Well, Netflix has a weird deal with America or whatever, how they do stuff. But, I don't know, for CBS All Access or whatever, CBS is the rest of their content is just like, yeah, I feel like if Star Trek if this new show is really good, I feel like rather than selling, the app or whatever, like they'll sell the apps or the app, I'm pretty sure, but I think more or less people will, find their alternative methods, if you know what I mean.
That was totally unsubtle, and no one could ever read into that.
No, I didn't say I was going to do it. I said other people were. They'll find.
No, and I know friends who do that. So yes, that is a reality.
So yeah, if I was them, I'd work on expanding their portfolio if they want people to invest in the All Access app. But I don't know. Maybe this thing will be the new show. I think that it'll be way too expensive to produce. Their numbers won't reflect the money they're going to put into it, and they'll either have to slash their budget for the next season, or they'll cancel it.
We'll see what happens. It probably won't last for long. Probably.
No. Oh, even if the show is a hit, I think it'll only go like three seasons, maybe 4 at max. But I've been wrong before. I don't know. Anything else before we hit up and just go right into our con coverage?
Yeah, I'll go through just a couple quickly. So, one of the big things that caught my attention, because I am a huge fan of the original graphic novel, as probably a lot of people are, we have a Watchmen TV series developing on HBO, which I always said that would probably work better on TV, like video games and comics and most things would adapt better on TV.
Uh-huh.
But the big thing that this week, because we had heard rumors about this Watchmen TV show, like in the corners of the internet kind of thing, but the big thing they announced is that Damon Lindelof will be the guy who's developing it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Damon Lindelof, which, how do you not know, he's the big guy behind Lost and The Leftovers, and he wrote Prometheus, but I blame that also with John Spates, the other writer, for sabotaging that story.
Well, that's really interesting, because the big complaint I have about the Watchmen movie is that it has a very unsatisfying ending. So it's really nice to see that they got a guy who's the king of unsatisfying endings to do the. I'm just kidding, Grant Davis of the TV Dudes. I think Lost is fine, and I
love Lost,
and I feel like I love Lost too. And if they had said that we aren't going to answer shit from the beginning, I would have been totally cool with that. But that's not the track they took. They said that everything has a fucking scientific explanation and it'll all make sense by the end. Bullshit. But I have not watched The Leftovers. I have heard it is very good and that people are really digging the last episode. So
yeah, no, The Leftovers, it's really an acquired taste for that stuff, but if it's your jam, it's really your jam, from what I understand.
No.
And
so actually
yeah.
this news that does have me excited. I mean, I at some point in me, I think Watchmen is one of those things that I think only works as a comic, but maybe a long form storytelling live action adaptation will work better.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably will. And just for a couple of the news stories, because there's only so much you can say about that other than yes, I would watch that. One that did catch my attention, and I'm just happy because it's happening. They haven't done a lot of up-resing for the old DC animated universe from back in the day. Like, we got some Blu-rays of like Justice League and a few of the other shows, but there's still a few notable entries that have been lacking. And one of the big ones they just announced they're going to up-res is the Mask of the Phantasm movie.
What?
That's going to get Yep, that's getting a Blu-ray release coming out I want to say it's this summer. I think August, possibly.
The fucking second best Batman movie. That is fantastic.
Indeed. No, and that's yeah, I don't remember what day exactly, but yeah, it's super exciting because that's one of those ones where I've seen it, but it's been way too long since I saw it in completion. And I'd love to just, sit back down and watch it again with a fine 1080p upgrade. That would just be really, really cool.
Yeah, it is for those of you who have not watched it, it's a really, really good take. I know it kind of goes over Batman's origin again, and I know we're all done seeing that, but this one really gives you a little something different on it, and it has this great moment where he first puts on the mask for the animated series, and it's a chilling fucking moment, and Mark Hamill is at his absolute best as the Joker in this. Like, he's fucking fantastic. So yeah, I would highly recommend that to come out if it's getting its own up-res release. I'm very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the Phantasm as a villain. I think that villain is a really cool, unique enemy for Batman. But, and then otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of stories, you'll hear them on the new Breakfast Club episode, but the one thing, if we just had one little mention of trailers, for those who didn't know about it, the new Game of Thrones trailer came out the other day. And I don't know, how much do you Game of Thrones, Nick?
I Game of Thrones so hard. I'm in the middle of my fourth rewatch. Fourth? I watched it once by myself. I watched it once with a girl, another time with a girl I was dating. These are all like rewatches of like once I watched up to season 3, and then the next time I watched up until season 4, and the next time I watched up till 5. And then I'm in the middle of, then I watched it, when I was big on video editing, I would watch it in the background, and I went through my third time, and now I'm through my fourth time watching with Travis, my co-host, to get him caught up for the newest season. So you could say that I'm a fan.
Yes, that's just a little bit of a fan. But no, yeah, I've watched it a couple times through as well, and it's funny because it actually took me a few tries to get into the show, because, well, for those who don't know, I've mentioned before that I'm a Latter-day Saint, and when I first got back from being a missionary, that's when Game of Thrones, the first season, came out, and I wasn't ready for the level of content that was in Game of Thrones, especially, they front-load it, especially in that first episode, where it's like...
You weren't ready for Blood and Tits? The TV series?
I was not ready for incest. That was definitely something I was not ready for.
They do lay it out episode 1 like, hey, this show has incest and child murder. Deal with it.
Yeah, so it took me like 3 tries to actually watch Game of Thrones, but once I got into it, I was super hooked. And this new trailer really just capitalizes on a lot of the stuff we like about the the latest seasons. So, obviously I won't go too in depth with it for those who are not huge Game of Thrones fanboys, but they're really, really leading into the big thing that they've been promising since season 1, that winter is here. We are nearing the final stretch for the show. It's going to be this season, and I think a year and a half later we'll get season 8, the final season.
Yeah, I heard it was actually might even be longer. We have to wait for the last one, which will suck. But
yeah, I mean, on the other hand, I'd rather them not rush out the ending.
Oh, indeed. I'm complaining because I want it now, and I know full well that that's not a rational thing to complain about, but can't help it. This trailer has me super excited, and it's not like it shows anything that I didn't know was gonna happen, because this is all the inevitable conclusion since third season of where it all has to end with this big fucking conflict. And for me, I'm just wondering how Cersei deals with stuff after granted her baller move at the end of last season, But now it's like, I don't know, man. She seems like screwed. Like I just don't. There's not enough wildfire in the world, man, to take out everybody. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Daenerys finally hit Westeros, see what that's like.
Okay, so question about that. I've been noticing in the show some images about where they're attacking, and I thought it was King's Landing at first, but do you think they're actually going to attack Casterly Rock? Because that's like the one location they've referred to that we've never actually seen on the show.
Casterly Rock is definitely going to come into it, because if you guys remember, the one thing that can kill White Walkers, is...
among a few things.
Among a few things, but one of the things is dragonglass, or obsidian. And where's the biggest obsidian deposit? It's right near Casterly Rock. So, oh yes, they made a mention of that. And for me, because the Lannisters are broke now, they're broke, I'm thinking they use that to kind of wedge their way in and kind of deal with certain stuff, because if that becomes a very valuable resource at any time, I have no doubt that Cersei will use that to her advantage.
Well, if not her, at least maybe that's a reason for Jon and Daenerys to invade, Casterly Rock, should that come to that.
Yeah, well, it depends on how much time we have left before the zombies hit the wall.
Which, by the way, people, there are zombies in the show.
Yeah, yeah, because I have a feeling that, okay, so Jon and Daenerys have to basically team up, because it makes no sense for them to fight each other. Right. So that's probably going to happen. I'm interested to see what the House of Flower, what was it, the House of Roses?
The Tyrells?
Tyrells, yeah. They're probably going to be really mad from last season, so I'm assuming that they're going to have a say in what goes on near King's Landing. Varys is there getting his shit mixed into it. We got Littlefinger whispering into Sansa's ear. Arya's now fucking in play. Everyone we've watched bounce around each other and kind of narrowly avoid missing each other are now all in one very, well, not confined space because it's Westeros, but they're all in a very integral place where it feels like shit is gonna, the snowball is rolling and it's halfway down the hill and it's only gonna get bigger before it finally fucking hits. And I can't even express how fucking excited I am.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, and especially too, I know I'm a filthy casual because I don't read the books, but I do watch the show. But I do like the fact that, even a lot of people admit it, it's nice to see the show compressing compared to where the books were, where everything was just getting bigger and more characters, where the show's been taking an active effort to cut out threads that weren't working, combine characters together, and really head towards an end goal that George R. R. Martin was only alluding to for a lot of it.
Yeah, as someone who's listened to the audiobooks up until book 3, I can tell you that while the show gets better, the books get slightly worse every time.
Well, I mean, there's obviously these high expectations, even so much that George R. R. Martin recently has been saying, "Stop bugging me! I will finish the book when it's finished." So
yeah. Well,
I can't blame him.
I mean, there's thing is the high expectations and the fact that he's gotten the Lord of the Rings syndrome of just describing shit, and I'm just like, dude, we're in book 4. I don't need to know exactly what this staircase of this one castle looks like. I need to know what the fuck is going on in this goddamn plot, because you have 17 different plot points running around, and I already have enough trouble remembering everybody's goddamn name. But anyway, yeah, very excited for the show. And with that, should we just take a break here, and we'll cut back in with our regular our con coverage right after a musical break?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Justin. Of course, thank you so much, Justin. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. If you want to check out Justin's stuff, make sure you check out the oneofus.net. He writes for the Breakfast Pub there. He does a couple other stuff there as well. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
Not really. Just, hey, there's a lot of good stuff going on in entertainment lately. Just keep up to date with the news, and you will be pleasantly surprised with what you see. Or, in case of Han Solo, incredibly frustrated and confused sometimes.
And yeah, if you want to hear more of Justin, check out our past episodes of Netflix and Kill, and probably look forward to more of the future episodes, because we'll have him on again. You'll hear his lovely dulcet tones again. But in the meantime,
Yes, my melodic too.
But in the meantime, listen to my melodic voice interview some great Austinites at Anime Austin. And yeah, just having a grand old time. And we'll be back with that right after this.
2,000 wildlings. Dragon Queen? Three-eyed raven. Fast.
No one.
And a foreign dwarf.
Can you fight?
I have fought. I don't claim to be a great warrior.
So mainly you talk.
And drink. I've survived so far.
We've never been friends. We won't become friends today. This isn't about friendship. This is about survival.
Do you like games, little man? Let's play a game.
There's only one war. Life against death.
This is Nick with the UGO podcast, getting our first ever interview at Anime Austin. We've done so many of these now, I almost forgot. And I'm here with Tiffany. That's a lovely name for someone who's running such a lovely booth. Can we get a picture of the booth, please? Yeah, it's some great stuff here. What do you all got to run down for the listeners at home?
Well, we have a lot of self-sculpture, original doll art, and then I've just started doing like a reborn-style silicone baby dragons.
Mm-hmm. Now, I love these baby dragons. They're the one thing that catch my eye the most, because they're in the little, what do you call these?
They're papasan chairs.
Yeah, and they kind of they make them look like it's cute because it's like a little bassinet for the babies, baby dragons. I like it.
Yeah, they used to have real bassinets, but you had to look over and in. So it was it wasn't as display friendly as these little chairs.
So what was the inspiration behind the little baby dragons?
I love making dragons.
Sure.
And my business partner loves making dragons, and so we practically poop out dragons. So
okay, you're eating at the wrong taco place if you're pooping out dragons.
Nah.
That is some dangerous stuff. That's a dangerous T-bell run.
And we also have Renaissance Festival booths too. So
really?
Yes.
Okay, very cool.
We have one at the Sherwood Festival here in Austin area, and then TRF as well.
Nice. So is it kind of I've never been to a Renaissance Festival. Has a most similar feel running
no, there's a lot more drinking and debauchery, and a lot more chainmail.
Man, it's right up my alley. I think I'm gonna have to check that out. I enjoy a good mead.
Oh yeah, there's lots of mead.
And I assume turkey leg. I don't know, I'm going off of stereotypes, but...
Oh, no, there is a lot of turkey legs.
Oh, they exist for a reason.
And they're actually emu legs.
Emu legs?
Yeah, they're actually emu. Because if you ever look at a turkey's doesn't have a femur this big. They're emu legs.
Right. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. And kind of badass. Like, I'm eating emu. Kind of want to eat
But
emu.
they tell you in their turkey.
This is false advertising. There's emu in this. But yeah, is this, would you say that they're your most popular item then?
They're the most adorable item.
The most adorable item? Okay.
Adorable. As in people I've watched kids cry when they pick them up because they're so happy and excited because they're jiggly and they feel like real babies. So they're all full of the wiggles.
Oh my God, they're so soft. Oh, it wiggles. Oh, look at that. It's so cute.
And fun, odd things because a lot of times the silicone dolls are used for therapy. So you can actually put these in the oven at 165 for 15 minutes, and then they come out cuddle warm.
Cuddle warm?
So they're like body temperature.
I love that there's a cuddle temperature.
There is a cuddle temperature. And you can go up to 450 degrees, but then they become hot potato temperature, and you're like,
Oh, what a cute little baby dragon.
Hot. Yes.
No, that feels more accurate. But I bet you Daenerys Stormborn, she doesn't matter.
Notice.
It just doesn't matter, no.
They're all cuddle warm to her.
So, what would you say is your most popular at an anime setting? Like, what's various moves?
In an anime setting, I would honestly say acrylic charms are.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. They're easy to...
They're easy. They're easy. They can go on keychains or lanyards or in the purses with the little windows. Oh. That's probably our most popular, followed by masks. Sleep masks. Our $5 prints are really popular. Oddly, we have these things called doodles. They're very popular, and they're dog noodles. And I can show you one. They're over on the other side.
We'll take a walk here. I got to see a doodle.
So this is a doodle. And they're literally dog noodles.
Oh my god.
And you can wear them around your neck. I think the reason they're popular is because it gets really cold at cons.
I think it's the pun, but what do I know?
But yeah, you can wear them around your neck or on your arms.
Oh, that's great. Like Cruella de Vil, only like not without real animals.
Without the creepy,
without the creepy lion thing.
And then we have fleas that clip on your head, and those are really popular as well. I'm not really sure why people like to put stuff on their heads.
On their heads?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't because you have very little
I got
hair.
very little hair.
Very little hair.
It's and plus I think it would be like too bright up
Yeah,
there.
so
Like it'd be
it'd
too
be
shiny.
like-
No. What is it? No.
No. Sorry, guys.
I don't want to draw attention away from the other bugs that live in my head on my head. You know.
That's true.
Yeah. But thank you so much for taking time to interview me.
pleasure.
Absolutely fantastic time with you. Have a great rest of your day and a
We
great rest of
will.
your con.
It was delightful to talk to you, and I'm sorry if I am really tired because we left at like 6 in the morning from Houston to get over here.
Oh no, that's fine.
Although we should ask, do you have like a website or something that you can promote?
Yeah, let's put the website
It's
so people see.
Artistic Cheese Whiz at Etsy.
And your Etsy page.
Yes, we have an Etsy page.
Awesome. Definitely check that out.
Thank you.
And thank you once again. Have a great day.
Oh yeah, you too. Have a pleasure.
And this is Nick with the UGO podcast, getting some more interviews here, and I am with...
Hi, I'm actually... Okay, how do I explain this? You can cut this part out.
No, it all stays in. It's all real. All real.
I used to be Silly Little Missy, but I've just recently rebranded as of this week to Missy Mayhem.
Missy... Oh, that's a good change. That's a good change.
Badass
Missy
stuff.
Mayhem.
Thank you.
Eminem, I like it. Anyway, yes, and you are a quite a prolific cosplayer, am I correct?
Thank you. I'm glad you think that.
But no, you got your booth here with all your different cosplay photos. They're really well done, by the way. Is this a professional photography you get this done with?
It's a few different photographers. I have my boyfriend do a lot of my photography, and it's just because like I can be more comfortable around him.
Right.
And then I've known this guy since I was 13. He was shooting my cosplay photos since I was 13, so I'm really comfortable with that guy. And it's just like various other photographers that I love their work and they like my work, and we end up collaborating and creating something great.
That's how it works, you know. And your boyfriend's probably cheaper too, you know. All it costs is a little emotional manipulation, you know, just like, hey honey, would you do this for me? But no.
Like pulling teeth.
But yeah, you got some really great stuff here. I see Kill la Kill up here. I see Scarlet Witch. I really brave Fifth Element. I forget her name.
Lilu Dallas.
Yeah, which is basically just a 2 sheets like kind of stitched together. So that's really brave. I mean, every time I go out in that outfit, I don't know, I just feel not as confident. But you rock it. You wear it better than me.
Feel confident in your own skin. I feel a little more confident when I'm not wearing clothes.
Yeah.
You know.
And you have a light cosplay on right now. You got the Mary Jane thing going on, right?
Yes, it's very casual cosplay right now. I'm wearing Mary Jane. I actually made the shirt the other day for a pub crawl that my friends were doing for a different con.
Okay.
It was so much fun. I just really wanted to be comfortable then, and I had to be comfortable today because we were driving in.
Right. Yeah. So, I totally get that because, Haas and it's hot, so it's probably nice to have a t-shirt and jeans cosplay going.
Totally.
Yeah, very nice. Do you make these cosplays yourself, or do you do commissions?
I do make these cosplays myself. I do not do commissions anymore, and it's just because I've gotten so busy with my appearances.
Sure. But they're really well done. I really like the blades from Kill la Kill, like the big plastic blades. I assume those made out of EVA foam or something like that.
It's kind of like a fiberglass. I don't know exactly
fiberglass.
because my friend made it for me. Made it for that shoot. Her name is Katie Freihofer, and she's like the boss when it comes to armor and fiberglass and cool stuff and latex pieces. She's like the queen of everything.
Wow. Okay, so that's helped. Maybe you got a really good team around you. So that's pretty good with friends like these. But So you are pretty dedicated seamstress then? You I see most of the stuff. It looks like it has to be really custom.
Yes. My skill set is like mostly sewing and seamstressing, and altering clothes is just a lot easier sometimes. Whatever's most cost efficient, I end up doing.
Right. No, that's smart.
Yeah.
So, is there any costume that was really complex that you were really proud of? Like, yes, I finally did this one.
Well, there was this cosplay when I was probably around 17 that I did.
Wow, have you been doing this for a while?
I've been doing this since I was 13.
Wow, okay.
So 13 years old. When I was 17, I did a really I did a really ambitious project with my friends that I had at the time, and it was a Silent Hill group. I worked really hard on the Pyramid Head. It was a group effort, but I kind of like orchestrated it. I was like a project director, I guess. And I put a lot of elbow grease into it myself. We did a Pyramid Head. I did the skirt. I did most of the map on the shape of the pyramid. And then also we did a few bubblehead nurses, and me and this other friend, we did Siam, which is like this nasty Siamese conjoined twin monster thing with like ballet shoes.
Dang.
It was pretty...
That's intense.
It was kind of scary. Putting it on took about 3 hours.
Just putting it on.
Just putting it on, and I was in like a baby holster.
Well, okay.
I was very small at the time. Smaller than I am right now.
Okay.
I was in a baby holster that was on the back of my friend. And then we put the costume on around us.
That's crazy. Wow.
We won an award. Yaya Han.
I would say you well earned, well deserved.
Seriously. Yaya Han gave us our the judges award and crowd favorite, and I cried. But it was kind of awkward because I'm on the back of my friend and he's lifting me up on stage so that we can do pictures, but I'm just crying and staring at the ceiling lights. It's pretty beautiful.
It's just this moment of clarity of just crying, yes, this is
it was pretty cinematic.
This is the greatest moment of my life. Just a light rains down as I'm on the back of my friend crying in a baby holster.
I need you to narrate my life now.
That I would totally narrate your life because I find it would be interesting. I don't think I would have a wealth of material to work with. But yeah, this is a really cool stuff. I really like the Hellboy with that because I've been looking for a prop cigar for a thing that I do, a cosplay thing that I do.
It's not a prop cigar.
That's a real cigar.
That's a real cigar. We did the cosplay around Halloween time.
Oh.
So when we went to Specs to get, the alcohol for adult things, they also have a section of cigars, and since it was Halloween time, they had these cartoony big cigars for people who are doing cartoony things for Halloween.
Sure.
And it was $5.
Wow, that's $5. Maybe I just got to commit and get a real one. Maybe take up a smoking habit. Yeah.
Don't
do that.
I didn't do that. My boyfriend did it for me. So.
Oh, okay.
He was puff, and then
Man, your boyfriend's taking a lot of hits for you in this interview.
Seriously.
But I'm sure he's a perfectly nice guy. But yeah, if you have any advice for anyone who wants to get into cosplay, who's just getting into it, any advice for people just starting out?
I would definitely say just be aggressive and do it, and don't let people judge you for it, and just do what your heart says, I guess. That's totally typical, but it's the most raw advice I can give you is just go for it and just do it.
Interesting. I was going to go with second guess yourself at every turn. Always question yourself, never have a lot of confidence, but no, your thing sounds better. Yeah. Sounds like it would actually work. Do not listen to all the listeners, they know never to listen to me, so it's fine. Thank you so much for interviewing with us. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. Would you like to tell the people where they can find, do you have a website, a Facebook, something like that?
I have plenty of those things.
Yes. List them all. Get them all on here.
Again, I am now the Missy Mayhem, and you can find me at themissymmayhem.com. Or any social media that you like, I am SL Missy.
SL Missy. All right. Well, thank you once again. Have a great day and a great rest of your con.
Yes, you too.
The double handshake. I like it. A lot of energy. This is Nick with the UGO podcast, getting some more art interviews, and I'm here with
Joaquin Sarate.
Joaquin, I stopped by your table that you're sharing here with your lovely table share? I don't know. Like, is there a name? Like
TG Comics 512. We're representing here in Austin, Texas. We're local artists here.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, we're from out of town, so we're getting some interviews with a lot of local artists like yourself. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying your art here. Obviously, there's a couple really cool styles. I especially like the Gwenpool and the fairy tale stuff. What kind of art style is this? Is it like it's got like a kind of, I don't know what you say, like a galaxy kind of vibe of like interstellar sort of thing going on. They got a lot of energy.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like a universal anime style that was meshed together. This was done by like my girlfriend Valerie Castano. She's very, very, very talented. But yeah, it's her own thing right now that she's working on right now, and it coordinates so well together.
Mm-hmm.
My stuff, I do like more of like the realism stuff, but yeah, her stuff is just like blowing up right now. So
yeah, it's a really interesting style. So, but you're so more like the Venom and Carnage thing here. Is that you? That's you. Oh, okay, I figured. And I like the Supernatural brothers in the back there.
Oh yeah.
You managed to capture how sexy Jerry Padalecki is. So that's good. Not a lot of people can capture that smolder. Look at that smolder. Look at it.
Oh yeah. It's trying to get that likeness and everything. It's difficult, but yeah, it takes a lot of practice. But I'm glad I was able to capture that. It's absolutely.
Yeah. So is that your favorite thing to draw? Is the kind of portrait style good? Because you can tell that you're doing it a lot. Because that's I'm seeing the Arrow one down there now. The ML one. That one's off the chain. That looks like photorealistic. I really like it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It would take me like roughly 7-8 hours, give or take. Work them on Photoshop, but I would draw it first, then scan it in, and then color it in. But the hardest part is, trying to get it exactly like it. A lot of trial and error trying to get it on, but I enjoy doing it. Yeah. Absolutely.
But a lot of effort. So that's cool. I suppose you're a big fan into the geek stuff. Yeah. So probably easier to put that amount of work into something that you already love to begin with, huh?
Oh yeah, that's so true. So true.
Is there anyone you find was surprisingly easier to draw rather than any of them?
Oh, Spider-Man.
Spidey?
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, no face. Don't have to worry about those details. Just straight up red. Boom. I'll get them done half the time usually.
Yeah, half the time. Okay. Yeah. I suppose you're like keep that mask on. Like don't pull a Tobey Maguire or an Andrew Garfield on it.
Exactly.
Let's keep that mask on. So,
oh yeah.
But yeah, this is some really cool stuff. What would you say is your most popular at a convention like this, an anime convention?
Man, that's pretty tough to say. I would have to say out of the ones, like it just goes based upon what's popular right now. But right now, I would say the Logan, from the movie Logan. Yeah, that one's a popular one right now to get.
Yeah. I'd imagine that the Logan being really big right now. So you do cons a lot?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have shows like pretty much all around the world. We've had 4 shows the past weekend in Puerto Rico, Orlando, Phoenix, and San Antonio.
Very cool. All right. So you've had a lot of conspiracies. Have you had seen anything really crazy at a con? Like maybe a really neat cosplay or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. You'll see people, like, I've seen this alien one out of nowhere. It was just like, I don't know. It was just the whole contraption was so interesting, but that was by far the coolest one I've seen yet.
Did it have a working mouth thing?
Yeah, had a working mouth. Nice. Opened it up, and it literally just went out. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
But did it have acid blood, though?
That would be really scary.
Maybe they don't allow that in conventions.
Maybe that's why nobody hugged him, but yeah.
Nobody hugged him. No. I just need a little face hug. Just a little face hug. Free face hugs. No, but thank you so much for interviewing me. Pleasure meeting you. Have a great day and a great rest of your con. This is Nick with the UGO podcast, getting some more convention coverage down here in Anime Austin, the big AA, and I'm here with
Trevor with Texas Sake.
Now, I had to stop at your booth because I saw the sake, but I saw the Texas made on so you make the sake locally.
Right here in Austin, yes, sir.
Right here, okay. Where's your location?
55th and Lamar.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we passed right by that.
It's about 5 minutes away from this hotel.
Indeed, yeah, okay. So, and I was lucky enough to try a couple samples here. I think I tried your Junmai, and then I had it like filtered and then unfiltered, and it was really good. I really like the unfiltered one. What goes into making it?
So, sake is just 4 components, rice, water, yeast, and koji. It's a lot closer to making beer than it is to wine, although it drinks a little bit more like wine or a hard liquor. So basically we brew them, we ferment the rice, a couple of batches. Our co-brewer, actually, Yuki, is here. She has a lot more to do with that. I'm more on the sales and PR side. But basically it takes about 8 weeks to 3 months for a full batch. Yeah.
That sounds really good. How long have you guys been making sake then?
We have been in this incarnation for the last 3 years. We as a company, not all of us. Our first Toji, or brewmaster, Jeff Bell, trained under Saki One from Oregon, who are the guys who do Momokawa and Moonstone. You may be familiar with those. Probably the most widespread kind of middle-tier sake in America. So he trained under them, under the whole Japanese Toji team there. Got his chops, if you will, and then came out. The company was around 5 years ago, but then after 2 years, they were making a product that wasn't really working for the Texas and the American market. So they sold the company to us. We're actually owned by Strangeland Brewery. So Strangeland came in, bought the company, hired the new Toji. He went out and trained, and then we've been producing in this form of Texas sake for 3 years.
Wow, okay, so you're no stranger to the convention scene, huh? You've been to a couple?
Not with Texas Sake. Yuki and I both have been to many conventions. For whatever reason, it never occurred to us to bring our sake to one.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems kind of like a no-brainer to me.
Yes, and we've been told that a lot so far today.
Better late than never, right?
Exactly. Melissa, the organizer, actually reached out to us asking us if we wanted to do a panel, and then I asked if we could set up in the dealer's room, and she said that sounds great. And our reception's been fantastic, so many more.
Yeah, of course. Many more in the future. Yeah. Is this all that you have available, or is these just kind of like your go-tos?
Actually, these are the only 3 SKUs we have in a bottle. We have a 4th sake called the Nama, or Namazaki, which is a much higher alcohol sake that's from the top of the barrel during fermentation. We only sell that in the tasting room because it is 20% alcohol, and it's not illegal to pour, it's just harder to regulate.
Well, that sounds really good. Yeah, maybe if I have time, I'll grab some before I leave. But yeah, so are you a stranger to going to conventions just as a fan?
Oh yeah, I love conventions, comic, anime, the whole 9 yards, everything.
Cool. So you ran a panel. What was the panel on?
Just about sake making, the importance of sake in the U.S., specifically our process, and how Texas is growing in alcohol enthusiasm, and how people are getting more tired of the beer and whiskey markets, and how they're kind of saturated, and people want more options, and they want to branch out to like mead and cider and sake, and even to like shochu and soju, just other options than what we're all used to.
Yeah, I noticed that we've been out and about in the local places to eat and drink, and we're from Wisconsin. I thought we were big drinkers, but you guys, man, it's like everything, anything you can dream of. It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory if it was a liquor brewery. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me. This has been absolutely great. Can you tell people where to find you again, your location, and if you have a website or something?
Yeah, we do have a website. It's just txsake.com. Our brewery is on 55th and Lamar. The tasting room's open Friday and Saturday nights, but we are sold in retail all across Texas in H-E-B, Central Markets, and Whole Foods.
All right. Well, as a first-hand tester, if you are in the Austin area, I highly recommend it. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming right after this. This is Nick with the UGO podcast, getting some more art interviews here at Anime Austin, AA, and we like it, and we got a double artist here, so also AA, so that works out. And I'm here with
Crystal Miller
and
Raina Goranson.
Now, I had to stop at both your art booths because you're sharing a booth, correct?
Yes. Oh, sorry, yes.
So I assume you done this at previous cons, shared a booth, or you coordinate a lot, or?
This is my first time actually tabling.
Oh, it's your first time tabling? Oh my God, that's great, and you're already being interviewed by a somewhat moderate celebrity. That's great. You're going up in the world, and I just had to stop because I love both your art styles. You get some really interesting prints and stuff. Could you tell the people? I think I saw on your side. It was a Finn from Adventure Time whaling picture.
Yep, that's Finn, kind of in the Scream sort of traditional.
It really works because I almost can hear him. I feel like there should be like a Jake Mona Lisa like next to it, but maybe that's next. Maybe you're not there yet. How's it like your first experience running a table at a con?
It's kind of terrifying because my confidence level is kind of low, and I'm worried about judgment. But so far, everybody's been really nice.
Oh, that's great, and don't worry about the judgment. That we edit that in later, so that we she see this girl. It's just she thought she was all of that, and she's like her first time. I'm the interviewer. Like, no, we won't do that. But yeah, I gotta say I'm really impressed with your work and yours as well. I saw I think it's a little bit is it Yuri on Ice in the front there?
Yes.
I only have watched a couple episodes, but I'm really into Yuri on Ice, so I like it. Plus, I like the anytime there's a anime conventions, I always see a bunch of female pinups all over the place. So I appreciate the dudes. I sometimes I want to see a 6-pack or 2. Hell, why don't you throw an 8-pack on there? I don't care.
Right. Well, this is I'm not sure what the question is.
I just wanted to, is this, how many times are you here? Like, is this your first time as well, or?
This is not my first, so I've been tabling for 3 years.
3 years?
Yes. And this is my second time at Anime Austin, specifically.
Okay.
And, so I used to go to, other cities in Texas and other conventions, but it's just, it's so much work that I just decided to stay local because we're getting all these new conventions lately, and so it's just become a little easier since I already live in Austin and we have so many conventions, and I have a lot of fun doing it. My first convention ever, I only sold one thing, and it was like a little discouraging. But then once I started to get more of an audience and more, knowing what people are looking for, then I got better and better, and then I started to make more of a profit.
Great. Well, you got back on the horse. Respect. I love it. I mean, I would have quit and, I don't know, gone into postal work or something, but obviously you are much more have much more work ethic than me, so that's great. What would you say is your favorite thing to draw? Either of you.
I really love to draw people, which sounds weird. I really love doing pinups, and of course I like doing sexy pinups and stuff, especially of guys, some girls too, and I really love body anatomy and stuff, so I really got into that when I was taking classes in school, and then I decided that I should probably start selling it since I was making all these big paintings and stuff, so. Well,
maybe for a challenge that I'll have you do a pinup of me and try and make me look attractive. We'll give you a real challenge. Yeah, I already have done that.
I've actually done something like that a lot, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've had commissions of other people saying hey, can you make me look sexy and stuff, so.
When you make me look sexy, and can you help me move this couch? What about you? What was your favorite thing to draw?
I think my favorite thing to draw actually was BMO down there and the crayon sort of thing.
Oh, I see him. Yeah. Oh, yeah, very cute. I like it. Yeah. So we were talking about all this lovely art, but the listeners can't see it. Where can they go to your, do you guys have a website or an Etsy page or something like that so they can go see your lovely art and maybe even purchase some online, maybe?
Yeah, most of my stuff is posted on my Facebook. It's Dream Sea Prod on Facebook, so.
Dream Sea Prod. Okay, gotcha. And
then mine is called Gorray. It's spelled Gorray. It's a mix of my last name and my first name because it's Raina Goranson, but instead it's Gorray. And then
it's just French for gory. Gorray.
I did get the thought from Banksy or something. I don't know. It sounded kind of so I have the Facebook page called Gorray, and then I have my website, rainagoranson.com, which is just my portfolio and stuff. And then I also have a Tumblr page, Gorray spelled gorei.tumblr.com, because unfortunately the other one was taken, so I had to be fancy. So
no, I like it. It gives it a little mystique. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it too. So.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for interviewing me, guys. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. Hey, great. Now have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your con. This is Nick with the UGO podcast here, getting some more interviews at Anime Austin, and boy, I'm seriously getting tired. I'm losing my wind, but you know what? Someone's gonna get my second wind back, and I'm here with someone who's gonna totally do this. What's that?
Oh, Thomas Tenney.
Thomas Tenney. All right. And I came by, and I was so struck by your booth and your table here with all your great art here. I really like the Dragon Ball Z print. Very, very nice. Very fitting for an anime convention. Yeah. Anyway, can you the listeners, they can't see this. Would you like to tell them a website they can go in and see us while they listen to it?
They can go to our Instagram, The Comic Forge, or Twitter, The Comic Forge.
Okay, The Comic Forge. So definitely check it out because there's some great stuff here. So
you come to conventions often then?
Oh yeah, I started coming to them again. I kind of retired from the conventions and I was into the rock music for 15 years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I left comics and when I started working with AC/DC, that caused me to leave from music from comic books.
Wow, okay. But you came back for one last job.
Yeah, okay. When I came back, I said, I'm going to put a bow on it and I'll call it a day. But that's what I wanted to do. There's so much I left on the table when I left Marvel and DC. I figured, okay, there's got to be one more ride that's left in this old dinosaur. So
for the listeners at home, what work have you done for Marvel and DC?
I worked on Iron Man, Force Works, Legion, DC Showcase. And I worked on some really nice Avengers West Coast.
West Coast Avengers, oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I moved on to Image, and I went back to Marvel to work on an AC/DC comic. Mm-hmm. But that ended up with me actually working for AC/DC, so.
Hey, that is not a bad gig.
No. Gig's the right word for it. But then we started off, and I met a friend of mine who was working with the Grateful Dead, and we decided to form a company to help out independent music. Since we were old rock and roll guys from the hair metal days.
You must love living in Austin. They got a great music scene around here.
He's from San Francisco, so
okay.
I was living out in L.A., and I came back to Texas 2 years ago when my father passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, my father would have loved what I'm doing. My father always said, cap it off, son, cap it off. So.
More like a get a real job sort of thing? Or?
Jeez, my dad was saying that when I was 17. He goes, you really don't want to draw funny books, do you? I said, well, paying the bills, Dad. He goes, so's the military.
Man, that does sound like a dad. I don't think I've heard someone call them funny books in like 10 years.
Yeah, well, my dad was also saying Sunday go to meeting clothes, so I was like, okay.
So, have you doing panels here then too?
I'm doing a panel tonight at 6.
6? Okay, what's the name of it?
Just me. It says just Thomas Tenney panel. Huh?
Well, that's all it needs to say.
I'm hanging something up.
Oh, is it a Q&A then?
I hope so. I don't know.
I hope so. You know what? I like that.
Maybe just people throwing fruit at me for a lie now.
I did notice there was a fruit vending cart that was selling rotten tomatoes. I just thought they'd gone bad or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm good at running, so it's good. Go ahead and take a shot.
You're good. And we also have here your lovely model. She said this is one of your models you use for.
This is Mary.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Mary. So you've done some modeling for certain pictures. I see a Wonder Woman here. Were you the model for anything, any other superheroes and stuff?
Yes, She-Hulk and Princess Leia so far have been two big ones we're kind of working on still.
Oh, okay. I noticed you were a little green for She-Hulk, but I just thought you ate some bad sushi or something. I know.
I think I feel okay. Maybe I get a little angry sometimes.
Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe I'm starting to piss her off. I better back off a little bit. But yeah, since you've been at the convention, how is Anime Austin specifically for you?
It's been a while since I've done an anime convention. I'm so busy I was doing rock conventions for so long.
Right, I bet you that's a little bit of a different environment.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different environment, but it's taking me back some, and it's kind of renewing my interest in it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, thank you for taking so much of the time for the interview. Oh wait, no, I wanted to ask you about your girl fight. That's right. That was what drew me over there. I saw Misty, and I see a My Little Pony over there, all bandaged up and ready to... The My Little Pony's really mean-mugging me. Like, it really wants to fight me.
That was actually, somebody said to me, well, I like to see a pissed-off pony. I said, well, you need to get some help for that. Well, you guys don't know. I mean, you're drawing. I was like, okay, so I'll just draw it for you.
Okay. So what is Fight Girl Fight, then?
The Fight Girl Fight, we're trying to get a positive message across to the youth, and it's also it's a girl message, strong female message for everybody to, nowadays I don't think there's enough positive influences for young women, and that was our whole thing that, cyberbullying, breast cancer awareness. We're trying to develop this for everybody that wants to fight something and come along well with it. Mary's been a big influence on this.
Oh, okay.
And she has been, Mary, about Fight Girl Fight. She's been.
You were a really big influence on the Fight Girl Fight and stuff.
Yes. When you first told me about it, my gosh, my brain was exploding with ideas, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I just saw, it was just
it was going to be a big part of the women's movement that's been going on in the last few years. Just, and it's not just about equal rights for us. It's also just every day what we face as women. We know we can stand up to it. And anything, whether it be from cancer, depression, to surviving domestic abuse, it's like we know we can stand up for ourselves. And I think this just sends a positive message. And it's for all ages, from, 3-year-olds to 75-year-olds. I think it speaks to all of them.
Right on. I really dig that. I think that's a noble thing. Well, thank you guys so much for interviewing with us. You have been great. Absolutely fantastic. This is Nick with the UGO podcast, getting some more interviews here at Anime Austin. Man, having such a fun time. So many great cosplayers, and I'm talking to two of them right now. Who am I talking with? Hello?
Rock Lee.
Rock Lee and...
Gara.
I like the Gara voice. Very cool. And if you guys want to check out these great cosplays, we'll put them up on our Instagram later if you want to look at them while you're listening. But, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. What's your actual names?
I'm Julian.
Julian. Oh, nice to meet you, Julian. Nice to meet you. Wow, nice bandages. They're real bandages. Those are real bandages. Wow, that's commitment. And
my name is Kevin.
Kevin. Nice to meet you, Kevin. All right. So you guys, your team up here, this is some really nice cosplay, and I love that you've teamed up. You used to be enemies, but you came to this convention together. I really like it. I really like the gourd. Like that gourd is like, it's even proportioned right. If I'm guessing it right. What's it made out of?
Well, I actually made the gourd.
You made the gourd.
Yeah, it's I took bouncy balls that you can find at Walmart, the big ones. I covered it in paper mache, and I made it even, so it's like even all around, because when you're covering in paper mache, it's kind of easy to keep it pretty even.
Oh, that's absolutely. I can kind of see it now, but that looks great. And the cork that's like some sort of.
I actually used styrofoam for the cork. I carved it out and spray painted it.
Oh, okay.
And it was super smart to use bouncy balls because it makes it super light for me to wear it around.
No, that totally makes sense. And as far as the clothes go, did you make this guys yourself?
So I sewed the entire Gara outfit, and then I helped Julian along for the vest. But I made the bodysuit and the shoes for both of us.
I like the buckles on the vest, like that stuff. I mean, I'm surprised there's not shuriken or smoke bombs, but maybe there are. I don't know. I didn't check. Did anyone pat Rock Lee down? Okay,
no
I feel a little unsafe, but we'll keep going anyway. How you guys enjoy the convention?
It's pretty good. It's one of Austin's smaller conventions.
Yeah.
But I typically like smaller conventions. We just got back from A-Kon, so it's a nice break from the big, gigantic conventions.
Agreed. Yeah. So what was your favorite thing so far?
Just seeing all my friends, really. This con, since it's so small, you make friends really, really easily, and since you constantly run into them throughout the entire weekend, it's nice to just see the familiar faces.
Oh, cool. Have you guys seen any other cosplay? As cosplayers, did you see any ones that were like, whoa, that was super cool?
Oh yeah, there's specifically for us, we've run into a lot of Naruto cosplays.
Sure.
And I actually do cosplay music videos, so every time I see a really cool cosplay that catches my eye, I have to go film it, because it's just, you got to showcase that.
Where can our listeners look at that online? You got a YouTube channel?
For sure, it's Radical Kevin 123 on YouTube.
Radical Kevin? My God, that is a 90s name if I've ever heard of it.
Right?
I mean, I would have gone with Tubular Steve, but I'm a little old school like that. No, that's fantastic. So, do you do a lot of cosplay and music videos?
I do. At every single con I go to, I create cosplay music videos. I'm a filmer, a videographer, and I go to school for it.
Oh, you go to school for it? Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I definitely got to check that out. That sounds really nice.
Oh, thank you.
We're just getting to video ourselves, and it's really hard.
It's a challenge.
It's hard. And I didn't even go to school for it, so. But yeah, any other good cosplays and stuff? I assume you're big Naruto fans, but how about some other animes? What are you digging right now?
I'm trying to think. Well, the other cool. Oh, the Love Live cosplayers we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay,
definitely the highlight. Yeah, because we went to see their concert for the first time, and their costumes were all hand sewn, and they're beautifully done.
Nice. So they had a concert?
Yeah, they had a cute little concert they did yesterday, and it really just tied this little convention together. It was so much fun watching them perform. It
sounds adorable.
Yeah,
I hope someone got video of it.
I definitely.
Okay. You sneak that to me later. Like, we'll do it on the other side.
Yeah,
Like, well, you're my drug dealer, but for anime stuff.
Good videos.
I got them good anime videos. This is from Japan. This is some good stuff right here. But thank you guys for taking the time to interview me. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you guys.
Thank you so much.
And this is Nick with the UGO podcast. Another interview edition here. I'm in Austin still. We're still here. We have not yet melted yet. Us poor, pale Wisconsinites. Isn't that right, Travis?
Oh yeah.
If you haven't heard that, Travis is here in our hotel room, staring down this strapping young lad. It's a little awkward. We're gonna try and break the sexual tension right now by introducing him. Hopefully, he doesn't have too sexy of a voice. Could you introduce yourself, my friend?
Yes, my name is Troy Sanders.
We're in trouble. It's over. Okay. He even has a sexy name, Troy. Oh, goddamn. But yes, and you are with?
Battle Rock Studios.
Closer. Sorry, I gotta get closer and see this glistening skinny ears. So you're with Battle Rock Studios, who we've met before and have had on the podcast before, but we met Ben, in PlatCon, along with, some of the other crew, I believe.
Yep.
And, we played, Battle of the Cards with him. So that was really cool. And he mentioned that you had a studio in Austin, so I thought while we were in town, we get an interview with you. And you do some work with VR right here.
Oh yeah, VR, AR, mixed reality, whatever they're calling it nowadays.
Well, so, whatever the kids are calling it, I like it.
Fancy words.
Sounds lit.
Yeah, it's not sus. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but
is that the new one?
That means it's bad, so don't say sus.
Sus?
It's bad.
Yeah. Then this is bad.
Yeah.
Damn, I just learned lit. Okay.
Lit fan, you know?
Sure. Okay, I gotta get kind of so fucking old. So yeah, you even brought some props with you here. We got the VR helmet and some sort of cosmic cube, like tesseract of some kind.
Don't touch it. It's kind of dangerous.
I'm gonna leave it to you. Obviously, you got some sort of infinity gauntlet in your pocket that allows you to handle it.
It might just be infinity skin. I don't really know.
So
that's why it's glistening so much, honestly.
Yeah. So, what's it like then, working with VR?
It's basically a whole new world. Not to bring Disney into it, but it feels like that sometimes. You
won't get me to sing it. You have to try harder. You have to try hard. I'm a 90s kid, so it's not that hard, but I need a little subtler.
Yeah. It's kind of like Hakuna Matata. I think I'm trying too hard now.
No, you're trying too hard.
VR is, it's definitely a new medium. I don't know how many people have actually tried it, as of late, but it's definitely making some huge strides. It's pushing the boundaries. It's allowing not just games to progress, but even like, construction work and cool things like that. You know, theme parks, they're going to start adding that to like roller coasters where you can actually feel, the 4D or whatever they want to call it with the rumble of the actual roller coaster, and you're looking around in some virtual world. So that saves them time of actually constructing, mechanical things, in the roller coasters. But who knows, man? It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm all ready to strap into the Matrix. I really am. I know that makes me kind of the bad guy, Cypher, the guy who but I would totally betray the team to eat that. The steak looks good. It looks good. So is there any project that the people listening, they can check out that you've worked on? Any projects that they can see your work on?
Yeah, we're pretty lax with a lot of stuff we show off on social media. So, we're pretty active on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So if you just look for Battle Rock Studios, I think today, we just released like some new little footage of some of the stuff we're working on. One of the more specific things that we have going on is, we're making, I don't know if you ever played Super Hot before, but,
I'm afraid not.
Yeah, Super Hot is basically one of the best VR games out there right now. And before it was even VR, it was just a normal shooter where everything slows down and when you move, the world moves kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, when you're not moving, everything is moving in slow motion, but then when you move, so it's kind of a strategic first-person kind of game. I remember, I've heard of this.
Yeah, so we're not taking the slow-mo thing, but we're taking a lot of the combat that they really polished really well. We're kind of taking the same ideas, but turning it into like martial arts.
That sounds pretty smart, because that's actually a concept that sounds like it could really work in a VR setting. So that's really interesting. Is it really hard working with the new technology, like the ins and outs? Like you run into a lot of issues, or like just things that you've never run into before?
Yeah, that's kind of an understatement. I mean, with VR, it's you get the equipment, you get everything, but still, I mean, you're either tethered to your computer with like a cord, and I mean, you can't see what's around you, so you're bumping into things. So to make like a martial arts-esque samurai inspired game with like swords and things, like the first thing you want to do is slash and stab anything in your path. So hopefully that path's not someone standing next to you or like a table, you don't want to hurt yourself. But that's the limitation so far, is just the controllers themselves are a little funky to work with and get used to, and the headset over time, you can't really be in VR for too long until they start fixing those problems. So there's a few hardware issues and like, I guess, finding your spacing and where you're actually standing in the real world. But as soon as they get past those, I feel like it's going to be very, very immersive. And that's kind of where I think the term mixed reality works better, because they're actually going to show you what's around you and immerse you in a new world in reality.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Like if they were able to mix that shit in with like Pokemon Go to where the point where you can just like wear like a glasses version and kind of see going around and catch it, I think that would be pretty cool. But that's just me. Cause, to be honest, maybe Pokemon Go, it's too late for Pokemon Go, I think. It's way too late. But maybe the next one, maybe Digimon. Digimon gets its shot, right?
Oh man. I
How about
thought about that.
Come on, it's like the next logical thing, right? I'd be a Digimon tamer, but yeah, so I gotta ask, I'm not sure, is the box, does it work with augmented reality, or what's with the box?
Yeah, so this isn't anything that I made, but it's made by a company called Merge VR, and they are actually releasing this cube, which I'm holding in my hand, which is called the Merge VR Holo Cube, and it isn't even released yet. July, so like less than a month away, it will be released. I got it as a developer so I could make apps for it for its launch date. And some of that stuff is under wraps, but that's a lot of the cool stuff we're working on. It is augmented reality. Basically the whole cube is just covered in symbols that they say NASA used to put our information out into space. So if aliens find us, they'll find this weird like marked cube or something in space. So it's heavily inspired by the markings that NASA or some space organization created. So like, you'll see like moon symbols and funky looking stars and lights, and you just gotta look it up on their site, Merge VR. And then, what you do is you actually put your phone into, this purple headset that they have. And, there's like an opening on the headset, unlike most other VR headsets, where it actually uses your phone's camera to, you strap the headset on your face, look through the lenses like a normal VR headset, but then like the little opening uses your camera to project augmented onto the cube.
Okay.
So then your eyes will, like, you'll be seeing the reality around you, like you won't be bumping into things, but you'll have this cube that you can rotate in your hand and do all sorts of stuff.
Okay, so I understood like 30% of that. But if what you're telling me is correct, we're very close to watching movies on those crystal-like hologram things like in Superman, and Superman 2.
Yeah. And Star Wars, their little, somewhat... the holo, whatever it is.
They're somehow super advanced. Yeah. Like they can go across planets, but come in as shitty VCR level of picture quality.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere, I guess.
I guess we have to, commit. You gotta spend money to make money, apparently. Right. But yeah, so you're based here in Austin, right? You live, just 30 minutes outside of town?
Yeah, I don't live downtown or anything, but I mean, there's meetups everywhere here in Austin. I think, actually, the VR is, like, spearheaded here in Austin. Like,
really?
Everything that's happening in virtual reality is either here in Austin, in San Francisco, and just now in LA is kind of picking up a little bit more. But Austin, like, we have Alchemy Labs here that made Job Simulator and virtual reality, and Rick and Morty. And then we have who else we have? We have a company called Wave VR that is making the first social rave experience inside virtual reality.
Cool.
And I worked with them for like 3 months as a contractor, and I'm doing my own thing, kind of incorporating Battle Rock into it. A lot of the movie stuff you're talking about with like Star Wars or the hologram kind of stuff, I'm actually creating that stuff in virtual reality, so you can animate movies and create them inside virtual reality. So that's kind of my own thing.
Wow. Okay, that sounds really interesting. Really changing not only changing the media, but like the tools to even create it. I like it. That's some ground level shit. Well, so you team up with Ben and them. So did you meet up like on Skype or whatever? You just kind of like cross, promote each other, or what's like the scope of Battle Rock Studios? Since you have this, that's obviously really neat, but you also have the card game you created, and I think you got a couple other projects, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the way that Battle Rock functions is, I'm technically I am the CEO.
Sure.
So I own it and I run it, and Ben does probably just as much or more than I do. Mm-hmm. So we have, I think, about 6-7 people on the team, and everyone except for me is in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I actually lived in Wisconsin, and I was there for like 5-6 years and kind of miss it sometimes. But I moved down here mostly for the game development stuff that was happening down here with VR, and like I wasn't really a believer in VR until I actually came down here and tried it and got into it.
I was a skeptic too, but you're selling me on it.
Yeah.
You're really selling me. So we are also local Wisconsinites, so we know how that is, and we've been blown away by how Austin just is kind of how it's just geography basically, and just how weird everything is. I did feel bad yesterday when I was kind of like, I was in the Walmart and I was like, hey, where's your liquor section? And I was just like, and they look at me, liquor section? What is your problem, you fucking alcoholic? Go back to Wisconsin, you fucking lush.
That's kind of how I felt. It was like, hey, where's the alcohol when I got here?
It's like, you got to go to a liquor store. Like, well, yeah, I know they have it, but where is the liquor section in the festival foods? Where's the groceries? Like, in the daycare, it's like outside. It's right outside. You can just pick up a beer. We might have a problem. I realized coming here is that we might. But you know what? Last night, I was like, we only carded the one time. Like, we were carded, like, the other night. We were carded twice? I don't remember that.
I know, because you were drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I remember being the carded, because we had to prove we existed.
Right, but we got carded the first time at the Violet.
No, I thought he just said that, like, oh, you're all 21, and we said yeah, and he's like, that's a good answer, and just served us dry. Oh, shit. I'm gonna edit that out. That is a story that happened at a different bar, it was like the Krylet Vaughan or something. Don't want to get our buddy in trouble for serving us very good alcohol, very good tequila, if I remember correctly. So yeah, do you come out here for the party scene a lot?
I did when I first moved down here.
Sure.
I really went out there, especially game dev parties are pretty crazy. You wouldn't think it, like, there's all these, like, nerds and stuff, but that's...
Oh, I've been to a few anime conventions in my time, and I'll tell you what, nerds can party just as hard, and even weirder than other groups, yeah.
That's a very valid point, yeah.
It gets interesting. You get really drunk people cosplaying as certain characters, they drink in character, it's weird. You do not drink with like an anime version of like the Trigun guy. He's not a happy drunk. You'd think Vash was a happy drunk, but he's not. He's just so angry. But yeah, is there any other upcoming projects that you're really excited about that you'd want to promote at all?
Most of the stuff I mentioned, like the animation stuff that I'm working on, I call that auteur, which is French for author. So I call it Auteur VR, and it's just a suite of tools that's going to allow developers to create movies, go from the animation process of actually moving characters' bones, setting them up for dancing around, and then you can actually set up cameras inside virtual reality and film like you're actually on a set. And then the next step is editing that film, and then the final step is putting into a movie theater in VR where people can socially gather together and watch whatever you created. And, I mean, that's the biggest thing that I got going on. And I showed it off at PAX South in January, and,
cool.
Yeah, so that's something I'm really excited about. It's also helping me with my other projects, because I can use my animation tools to create animations, like a motion capture studio inside VR. So that's stuff that I think a lot of people should be excited about. That's kind of where, like, I think VR can really excel, is like you provide a more hands-on approach to tools instead of having to go through all these windows with 50 different options. You could just
instead of paying for a whole studio to film a set on, you can and hiring like people with that specialized mocap suits. You got everything there. If you got the savvy to use it, I like that. That gives it a lot of power to the creatives. So I think we might be on the verge of a new technological boom with that. So that's interesting. I can't wait till porn gets a hold of it, because that's how it always starts. That's how it always starts, my friend.
Yep, Rooster Teeth is here too in Austin, and I don't know if you've seen like Ruby or just any of.
I'm a big fan of Ruby, actually. Yeah,
Blue, all that stuff. So I'm actually going to try to pitch to them some of the stuff I got going on. So maybe I could collaborate with them, and that might be something cool that people can look forward to, is seeing them use some new tools that I created. And I mean, this stuff is all open on my social media everywhere. I'm talking freely about it because it's just something I want people to get excited about.
Definitely. I would love to see that. I'm sure the Rooster Teeth, they've always opened to new stuff, new technology. I think that you got a really good shot with that. And with that, you just want to wrap this up. Thank you so much for interviewing with us.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic having you on. It's such a pleasure. Yeah, I want to make sure one more time where people can find you, your Battle Rock Studios, and you at your social media pages and all that.
Sure. So Battle Rock, we have our website, battlerockgames.com. And for my Auteur VR, you go to auteurvr.com. Pretty simple. And you can find all sorts of hashtags for Auteur VR on Twitter, Instagram, and that's where you can follow us on all those social media outlets. Look for Battle Rock, and you'll most likely find Auteur along the way.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. Well, we will be back right with our regularly scheduled programming right after this. This is Nick with the UGO podcast, still here at Anime Austin, probably going to be the last interview here before I go up to my room and pass out, and hopefully blackout. But, no, I can't, because I got to catch that flight tonight. But, yes, I'm still here, second wind, and I'm here with the lovely
Eric Cherry.
You know what? I love that name, by the way, because it does make you sound like either you are a male stripper, or...
Oh, here's the best part. I could have been Dick Cherry the Fourth.
That's a missed opportunity. That's the best name ever. I mean, Eric's fine.
No. I love my name, but my dad was Dick Cherry the Third, and Grandpa and Great Grandpa wanted me to be Dick Cherry the Fourth.
My God, yeah, I would. If I had the chance to be Dick the Fourth, I think I would just be eternally disappointed. But you bear it well. You bear it well. And of course, people might know you from your many voice acting credits, such as I know you best from Attack on Titan and Fairy Tail, but you've done a bunch of other stuff, correct?
Yeah, Muramatsu in Assassination Classroom. I was Kamioka in Kanisha My Disciple. I mean, I've 50 titles under my belt. I've been doing this for 9 years. It's yeah.
So you got some experience under your belt. That's good. So you do a lot of cons, I assume.
Yeah, I actually do. My favorite con is Tokyo and Tulsa. It's actually probably one of the coolest cons because it's big enough that there's a lot of stuff going on, but not so big that it's like A-Con or whatever, where it's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then I'm a good friend with the Tetra people, so I do all their cons. So Anime Austin, Louisiana Anime, Lagfest. Hopefully I'll do OmniCon eventually, but I do their stuff because they're great people.
Great, yeah, they seem nice. They run a pretty good convention here. I like it. I like the smaller atmosphere. It makes it easier to run around and get interviews and stuff. But yeah, I just came from your 18 plus panel. It was great. What a fun time. It was really 18 plus. I mean, some people put the 18 plus on there just because they swear a couple times, and they don't feel weird about getting away with it. But you really leave it all out there. I got to admit.
I am who I am, and you either like me or you don't. And so I have no shame with saying everything that's ever happened I've done in my entire life. I will curse. I will tell you my dirtiest, sexiest, craziest story, the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me, because that's who I am. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, well then, fine. But you know who I am. So I have when I do an 18 plus panel, it's a raw, real me.
You know what? Not only do I like it, I respect it. As a person who is also the man that he is, and fuck anyone else, because I ain't changing for nobody. yeah, we talked about sex. Gambling issues even came up. It got real in there. We talked about some real shit. Also, I was also pretty funny. You're really quick on the draw. Have you always been kind of like the funny guy like in school and stuff?
I really was. I mean, that's how I've always been. And then what I mostly focused on in college was improv. I'm all about the on the spot moment thing, and on top of that thing, the great thing I love about improv, because it's not about being good, mm-hmm. It's making the other person look good.
Yes.
Because honestly, if you make the people around you do a good job, mm-hmm. you do a good job, and that's how I try to live my life, and that's why like improv like touches a special note in my heart, because the whole point is not being good; it's making other people look good.
Yes, that's a great a great philosophy not to have, not in just improv, but kind of in life, really. Do you do some other panels throughout the day then, some non-18 plus stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I do your normal guest Q&A panels, autograph panels, stuff like that. My 18 plus panels actually probably become my most popular panel that I do. Another big panel that I've just started doing, which I'm going to start expanding on, which is become super popular, is karaoke.
Oh, nice. You know what? I appreciate it just for the pun. Yes.
And so it's like karaoke, but with a twist. So I call someone up to come up on stage, and we flip a coin. Mm-hmm. And if you win the coin flip, you get to pick any song you want for me to sing.
Yes.
But if I win the coin flip, ooh, you have to sing any song I want for you to sing.
That is daring. Oh, I would totally play that with you. Man, that would lead to some fun times. I'm thinking of a little bit of Adele's Library, but that's just me. That's my jam.
Someone made me sing Rap God by Eminem last night.
What?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I think okay. I've heard the song once, and it's like 6-7 minutes long, so yes. It's like at some point I literally sat down on a chair and I'm just like, all right, let's keep going. I got to muscle through this. It's part of the gig.
Well, you do only get one shot,
yeah.
And you can't miss your opportunity. So, yeah. So you do a lot of cons and stuff. Like, what's your favorite thing to do while you're at the con? Is it the panels? Is it just meeting people? Like, what's your favorite thing? What gets you off?
Honestly, the reason to do cons is to go around and meet the fans and not have them realize who they're talking to.
Is that really? Oh, so you just kind of walk up and...
One of my favorite shows of all time, plus a show I'm in, Fairy Tale. I love Fairy Tale. I'm Max in Fairy Tale.
Yes.
One of my goals every con I go to is take a picture with every single Fairy Tale cosplayer I come across. That's what I do. And I've broken people before, because I'm just like this random dude because no one knows what the voice actor looks like.
No.
So I'm like, hey, can I get a picture with you? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, great cosplay. And then I tell them who I am, and they're just like, what?
It's like, oh man, thanks for taking the picture with me. By the way, my name's Eric.
Yeah.
Cherry. What? Yeah.
And that's why I like doing it, because when I come to a convention, I'm here for the fans. I'm here for you to have a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to, stroke my own ego or whatever. I'm here to make sure that you have a good time.
Oh, so you treat it like you're like an employee and they're the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes complete sense. No,
I started as a fan. Like, I used to be a cosplayer. I used to go to conventions, and that's
you're mentioning that.
Yeah, and then I through that back in the day, I met other voice actors and directors. Like, hey man, Funimation's here. Come audition.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't an after the fact. Like, I'm at heart, I'm a giant stupid nerd who loves anime, who loves role playing games, who loves cosplay, and that's who I am. I'm just lucky enough to have moved into this being a job for me now.
All right. Well, and if anyone doubts your fan cred, I think the Kawaii hat proves it. I think that's a badge right there of just like, yeah, okay, yeah, I know what that guy's about.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it, by the way. For those of you listening, it's this rad Kawaii hat with like this bling on top of it. It's like 50 Cent if he suddenly got really into My Hero Academia.
With a galaxy background.
Yes, so the galaxy. Oh, so good. So, what's some of your favorite stuff your anime to watch that you're not a part of, like you're a fan of?
I love Initial D. I was one of the first people to actually make the car as a cosplay for Initial D.
Really?
Yes. I was the first person to do that, and I have...
The OG? You're the one?
I'm the OG. I'm the first person to ever do that, and I have documented proof to back that up. Then I'm a big fan of Hajime no Ippo. I love competition animes.
Mm-hmm.
I love all anime, but competition like Hajime no Ippo, Initial D, even Hikaru no Go. It's an anime about playing Go.
Yes.
Which you think would be boring, but it's not. It's so good. I love competition animes. So those are some of my favorites.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I love coming to these conventions, and I always ask people like, is there anything during a convention that like isn't so great, like isn't like that you try to avoid at all costs?
Not really. I mean, honestly, the worst part about a convention is the confunk. Just like when you have this many people in an enclosed space close together, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna catch a cold or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I try to dose myself as much as I can with vitamin C and stuff like that. Honestly, that's my worst thing about a con is just the fact that I know the next day when I get home, I'm gonna feel horrible.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. The con plague is kind of a nasty thing that you kind of... I've done it so much that I've basically gotten used to it, but it is kind of a drag. So with this convention, what's been your favorite moments from this convention in particular?
Favorite moments for this convention? I broke some girls.
Yeah, if it's the one you're talking about during your 18 plus panel, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, they were there, and I was like I said earlier, I like to take a picture with people who are cosplaying Fairy Tail, and I took a picture with this awesome Lucy cosplay, and I think she was like 11, 12 years old. So I took a picture with her, and then after that, I was like, yeah, I'm in the show, I'm Max, and she literally just went, and stopped, and my handler was like, I think you broke her.
It's just got this big rainbow window, this buffering symbol just comes up, and nope, there's no response.
Yeah. Blue screen to death just happened.
Yes.
And even the father figure who was with him was like, can we get a picture with you? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, I broke them. and so that's why, like I said, those are my favorite things. Those are the reasons I do this type of stuff, is for their experience.
Mm-hmm. You also made a particular girl squeal in your anime, which sounds dirtier than it is.
No, it was. I based on a joke, I made her squeal, and then I made her come up, and because I'm old, and so I did the whole Addams Family arm kiss Morticia, and she squealed again, and I asked for her permission because consent, people, consent. Yes. Cosplay is not consent. Get consent.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I like the old school. I like the Addams Family reference. That's baller. I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. We'll have to hang out again. And,
don't threaten me with a good time.
And again, thank you so much for everyone who interviewed with us down in Anime Austin. It was absolutely a great time. I can't wait to come back and visit you guys next year. With that, if you guys want to check out the podcast, you can do so at our webpage, unapologeticgeeko.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes. We would really appreciate it. Give us a 5-star review, and we will read whatever goes in that review box on the air, word for word. That is my guarantee. So yeah, write in, I don't know, your own fan fiction for your own, Eric Cherry, 18 plus panel. I know that guy would appreciate it. And, yeah, we'll read that on the air. There's no limits whatsoever. Yeah, you can hit us up on Twitter at UGO Podcast. Our Instagram's the same thing. Check out some of our con pictures while you're there. Like us on Facebook and all that good jazz. And with that, we're going to close out the episode with one of our lovely Geek Trivia Contest contestants singing the Steven Universe theme song for a challenge. It was such a great fun time. Thank you everyone who participated. And yeah, see you later, guys.
absolutely 100% correct, and fantastic singing voice, by the way.
Thank you.
So lovely. Give her another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. She sings so lovely, don't you agree?